So when we beat that big ass worm, we got our first legendary of the game. It's called the Grim Morrow. A quick update on Shaky Hands filming. I got this information from JoJo on the last video in the comments, but if you go to options, you scroll down here in the gameplay tab, and you find cinematic camera smoothing. Crank that up to 1. It should get rid of the shaking. Good to know. Dude, they need to turn down the goddamn bugs. Mine feels crazy. What's going on, everybody? I got a crazy good Vein-Squisher set up for you guys to run. I'm going to kind of show you how I'm running it, what I figured out with it, and I'm going to show you a really cool tool for building classes if you haven't found it already. But if you go to paradoxxyz.github.io/ and you will find this class builder tool. It should load on Pyromancer, but you can switch over here at the top. Doing this for the Devastator build. Right here, we got a key, and you can see that it'll give you a color code for whether the skill's max stat or not. Right down here, all your stats will pop up. You can check boxes to show max stats, show all stats, show by node count. So if you're running a stat that's maxed already and you want to drop it down because it'll only count to a certain point. Once it hits max, you can't get any more, so you might as well knock that node off if you can afford it. But we'll start here. So we have 20 skill points. I'm still working on my last 2 skill points with this character, but I'll show you the build that I'm working towards, and we'll get some gameplay, and it'll be sweet. So we'll start out. We're going to add 8% weapon damage with Havoc here. We're going to move up to add 10% armor piercing. We're going to add the Brawler right here. We're going to go with both of these bad boys. Add 12% weapon damage with assault rifles, 10% armor piercing. We're going to add 8% more weapon damage. We're going to go up here and add 20% to our crit with another 8% weapon damage right there. And then we're going to dip down, get another 15% close range weapon damage, another 8% weapon damage. This one's pretty important. Make sure you get these for this build. It's kind of a glass cannon build. 5% weapon leech and 15% damage against elites, and take 15% less damage from elites. This word starts really mattering when you start getting up into like 10, 11, and 12 world tiers. Right here, we're going to go negative 20% on reload time, and then we're going to work down into enemies who, the confrontation, which is enemies who damage you will have their physical damage reduced by 10% for 5 seconds. This effect is doubled if you damage that enemy. And then we're going to get the armor breaker right here for some armor piercing, and then the final altered charge skill on Vein-Squisher. When your kinetic skill ends, increase your weapon damage by 70% for 10 seconds. This is a huge one. We're also, this champion skill is another huge one that we need to hit. You need to activate your protection skill and increase his weapon damage by 45% for 10 seconds. So the point... The point of this build is we are going to be running Golem and Gravity Leap, and we're going to be using Gravity Leap to heal us and Golem to running Golem pretty much infinitely with the perks that we're going to put on our gear, and we're going to have increased weapon damage almost permanently, and we're going to have crazy health regen coming through, which means we're also going to run our heirloom armor, which gives us 20% gain of their armor for 10 seconds when an enemy dies at close range. And we're going to do profit squared right here, that every piece of ammo you pick up heals you by 5%. That's kind of an optional one. So these last 2 points you can kind of throw around. If you like using assault weapons, I highly recommend that you do Assault Master. If you're using a lot of shotguns, use Shotgun Master. You can do both. You got 2 points to play with. Or you can, if you're running Assault Master with magazine size, if you just want to be unloading on people. Personally, heirloom armor. This is how I run it. If you want my exact build, this is how I will be running it. Take a screenshot, save it, do whatever you're going to do. But if we scroll down here, we can see that we have a lot of max stats. All of our max stats are going to be armor piercing, crit damage, damage against elites, damage taken from elites. Drop rate for assault rifles is maxed out. Your reload time is maxed out. Your weapon damage is maxed out. Your weapon damage assault rifle and close range are both maxed out at 32 and 30% respectively. The only thing that is 1 to 33% of max, which is the lowest, is going to be your armor and your health. Like I said, you're kind of a glass cannon, but you're going to be healing so quick that if you're getting kills, you're surviving, and it'll be crazy how the damage output you see when you get that 45 and 70% damage. And we'll be running Gravity Leap, Golem, and you can, the third one you can run whatever. If you run Reflect Bullets, it can help you out quite a bit. Or Tremor. I run Tremor. This website also has a DPS calculator for any guns you're looking into. All right, guys, this is important. Hear me out. I know it's a loot shooter and you want to get the best loot possible, right? But think about the skill tree you built and take into account the fact that you do, I'm wearing all epic armor here, but you do not need epic armor to make this build work very well. You just need rare armor. You only really need that one perk. The second perk is just a benefit. Plus, you can only modify one perk per piece of armor in its lifetime, like one slot. So you need to, if you are going to run epic gear, find something that kind of complements it and then mod that, or you can just mod and play around with stuff. The perks on your guns don't really matter more than the archetype of the gun you are using. I like to use, right now I'm using a standard assault rifle and a legendary automatic shotgun because it really accents this class well, as much as I want to use a sniper rifle, but it is what it is. Let's jump into the armor. So as far as your armor, the armor rating really doesn't matter a whole lot. Like, I'm not running my full potential of armor right now. As you can see in my inventory, I got some stuff that has higher potential. Stop worrying about those numbers so much and pick something you like that has good stats on it. as far you want to get stuff that has like max health stats and maybe cooldown reduction time, are you're looking at, that's probably your best. Your status power is all right, but and bonus firepower always a good thing. You're not really gonna worry about long range a whole lot. I got it on a couple pieces of gear. I'm more worried about my max health and my cooldown reduction, because I need to be running Golem that whole time. If you use this class right, you are going to be in Golem the whole time. So for your tier 1 perks, they can be on any piece of gear, whatever. There's 4 main ones you want to run with this build, and that's going to be the Golem Perseverance, the Human Comet for Gravity Leap, Resistance for Golem, and Golem of Death. That one is very important as well. You'll see in the gameplay that you basically, whenever you get an engagement, you pop Golem, you kill a whole bunch of stuff. Tier 2 perks doesn't really matter a whole lot. Like this one, I have this one set up. Like you can have different gear builds and play around with it. I'm still trying to figure out what a lot of them do. For the 5th piece of gear, run something that works well for your 3rd class. If you're running Tremor or whatever, I'm running Mitigation of Death and Aura of Force that dropped with Aura of Force on it, which killing enemies with critical shots grants you more anomaly power to you and your allies for 10 seconds. Mitigation from Death is whenever you're aimed down sight and you kill an enemy, it gives you a certain amount of points towards your armor for 10 seconds, and it can stack up to 3 times. So you can just get your armor level way up high. Like I'm sitting here at 12k, but when I get 4,200 points times 3, that is like what this one came out to, or 5,000, say 15,000. I'm running almost 30k armor, 27.8k armor when I have it stacked. And you'll be killing things quick, and you're pretty much like, you're invincible as long as you don't get cornered by a bunch of big animals. Or those damn bugs. Now that I talked your ear off, let's get to some gameplay. All right, it's been a couple hours. I got my gear tuned. Went up a level or 2. Didn't really farm anything, but we're gonna see how much just tuning and everything helped and finding different weapons. God, if that impale hits, it just falls off. That perk is called Claymore. It really does the damage you're looking for. Lights on out. I'll put this at the end of the video because I already talked too much, but if you want to see the guns I'm running, I've got the Vagrant 11 Fatal Morgana right now, which is an assault rifle. I have it set to standard variant. You can always swap your variants on your guns. Remember that. I've got Leech Life, Healing Received, and Armor Pierce on it. I always run Fusion Blast on my assault rifles just because it gives you that extra pop of damage to everything. Resistance Breaker is not a bad perk. I'm running this Death Shield, which the Fortress perk that I got dropped on this Death Shield is amazing because you receive a 43% damage bonus to your already high damage based on your armor rating. So when you proc the armor rating from Mitigation of Death and swap to the automatic shotgun, on top of the added damage you're already doing from Golem, you get another 43% damage. So you get a 40% damage with a potential 70% damage on top of that. Once you have 40, that's 110% damage with another 43% of that 110% damage, which is an added 56%. Basically, you're a destruction machine. The only drawback to this shotgun is a 10-round mag, but it's basically used in tight situations. When I swap to it, I clear out everything around me and go back.